Good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article. Share on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use your headphones. Trigger warning 2. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is very much advised. Also, warning, and apparently it's due to weather. Surprise, surprise. No, not really. I'm obviously having allergy issues. So you may have weird instances of me clearing my throat or just sounding incredibly hoarse. There's nothing I can do about it. Me and technology are not friends. So, be warned. That's why I don't have all the fancy hitters that some of these YouTubers have that I'm very jealous of. I would say give me your knowledge, but fortunately, I don't have a lot of time these days. So, where we left off yesterday, speaking of allergies, based on these cases, we disagree with the commenter that parents have a fundamental right to choose as a treatment for their children ESDs for SIB or AB, devices that the FDA has determined to present an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury, with the tons of ER documents and video surveillance footage to back it up, we might add. And they've also sufficiently proven that there is more than a basis for the state or the feds to intervene in regards to a parent making decision in regards to their kid's health care if it looks like it puts the child's welfare at risk. I can think of, although I can't give exact names, dozens of cases just off the top of my head in regards to that. I'm sure some of you can do the same as well. Because the interests asserted are not fundamental rights and a suspect class is not involved, the ban is not in violation of parents' substantive due process rights as long as it is rationally related to a legitimate state interest. In other words, yes, you are free to choose your child's treatment program, except in the circumstance where the so called treatment program is involving what the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture called torture. Okay? You're not allowed to choose torture for your kid just because the person selling it to you tells you it's medicine. Right? These are the kind of cases where the state and feds can get involved in order to protect the kid. Okay? See Washington versus Glucksberg. As discussed above in the previous response, the ban is rationally related to the FDA's legitimate interest in protecting patients from devices that present an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury. What people need to start understanding is you cannot pull either parental rights, you can't pull but the doctor says, and you can't always pull but the court says as justifications. This is why there is a whole appeals process. Courts get it wrong all the time. As I've said multiple times on this channel in regards to the JRC and them constantly using it as a way of saying, don't worry, the court said it's okay. Judges went to law school. They did not go to medical school. You have to excuse me if I have a complete disbelief in regards to any treatment program safety when it's being decided by a judge instead of a panel of peers that are a part who practice medicine. Okay? Just saying. Show me an objective panel of seasoned practitioners that agree with this. You can't. So stop using but the court says. Okay? For the love of God. Right? It's a nonsensical argument. Number two, it's nonsensical to then try to push parents' fundamental rights to choose health care, except in the case when the child's health and well-being is at risk, in which case, yes, the feds and the state can and do intervene all the time, every day, every state. Okay? These are not rational arguments. And what's even worse is you all take things out of context. You cherry pick it to hell. And even after doing so, it's still a bad argument. You know? Masters of propaganda, these commenters are not. Right? You can't argue that it is a violation of parental rights when essentially what you're trying to argue is that a parent has the right to decide that torture is a good medical treatment program for their child. Okay? Because in such cases, that's where the state and the feds have intervened on multiple occasions. Sometimes in small areas we never hear about. Some of them get splashed all across the news, particularly the early 2000s and the handful of Christian Science cases in regards to parents refusing necessary medical care for their kids because they believed in praying it away. All right? It's not an argument. Granted, I will give them this. At least it's an argument that hasn't been already done to death, as many of these commenters have just seriously regurgitated the same crap that has already been dissected and addressed multiple times. Alright, this particular video is going to be short because it was sweet and right to the point. So we're going to go ahead and close out. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. You know the drill. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time this afternoon. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all in a few minutes, but bye everyone.